Do y'all think that the better team won, or was this just a bad game?
They got a cloud hanging over their head.
You execute when you're supposed to execute, and we didn't do that. They were the better team in that game.
All right. Well, what's up, everybody? This is our first live show where we're all in different places. We've done live shows, but we've been in the same location before. But streaming on YouTube now. Tonight we'll be doing our regular show at the same time that the first CFP rankings of 2025 will be released. They're actually being released right now as we speak. So we'll break for that in real time and give our reactions to that. But first,
I already have some reactions.
I was going to say we've already had some feelings about the current rankings, but first, before we do anything, let's welcome our co-host Matt. Since you've spoken up, how are you, my friend?
Everything is dark and I hate it here. This is the worst timeline. I want off, but I'm fine. I'm fine.
Jesse, how are you?
I'm feeling well rested. After a bye, it's always really nice to just kind of come back, easy breezy. And this is the first week that the rankings actually matter.
That is true. That's true. We've had rankings, plenty of rankings, and rankings that mean nothing. It still baffles me how we continue to have them. But anyways, so we've already had we're recording live here on Tuesday night as they release the rankings. The first 5 have been released. We won't really discuss a lot of them in detail until we get to the top 12. But Matt, first, obviously, your thoughts on Tennessee being ranked at number 25.
The fact that you're taking all 3 losses, which are the top 15 teams, and putting them behind Pitt, and who is that? There were a couple of you've already lost me. But we move. I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
Yeah, well, real quick, as they kind of go through some of the others, let's go ahead and talk about those games from last week.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
All right, so moving through the games from last week, the first one we were going to talk about was Vanderbilt at Texas. Texas winning this one 34 to 31. Nobody got the point here. Look, the poor tackling epidemic has infected Vandy, and I texted you guys this during the game, and it's sad to watch because it's just everywhere right now. The O-line play for Vandy wasn't as great as we've seen the rest of this season, and they talked about that a lot during the game. Speaking of which, Vandy's number 16. We're not to the top 12 yet, but they're 16. But still, Pavia, he held onto the ball way too long. And like I get the announcers talking about the O-line, but Pavia holding on to the ball that long, it's he took some really bad sacks, and that's not all on the O-line. On the other side, Arch had a great day, even though he honestly took a lot of hits, but he had a good day overall. Texas defense at the end struggled to cover receivers and let Vandy back into this thing. And honestly, Vandy should have recovered that onside kick and would have had a chance to win this thing at the end. But that ball just kind of squirted out of bounds before they could recover it. But heartbreaking way to lose it. Jesse, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think this one was an interesting one. I think it was the Arch Manning game that most Texas fans were waiting for finally, and him coming off of a concussion, and obviously we saw he made some jokes that maybe he needed the concussion to get into this style of play, but he finished 25 of 33 for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that's a pretty good game. I think the biggest thing now is just watching for consistency. Is this something that he can continually produce? Because while it's great to have a really stellar performance in one game, it's certainly different when you're able to reproduce that across several games. On the other side, I think, you already talked about Diego Pavia, and he did a great job. He's absolutely a warrior on the field when it comes to passing and rushing. But like you mentioned, not all of the mistakes are necessarily attributed to the O-line. I think sometimes Diego Pavia may try to do too much. He feeds into the hype a little too much. He wants that Heisman a little too much, and he tries to make things happen maybe when you might just need to get the ball off a little bit faster. But this one was a nail biter. This one was one that, whether you liked either team, it was fun to watch.
Yeah. Matt, your thoughts?
Vandy, we were rooting for you. We really were. It's a terrible shame to see Vanderbilt's season come to, I mean, not an end, but I mean, that's a pretty rough beat. I feel like they're a better team than Texas. Texas has been up and down, up and down, up and down all season. They just happen to be up, and they were down in the fourth quarter. They about near let this thing get away from them, and by all rights, they probably should have. By the way, Notre Dame at 10 is hilarious, and I can't wait to hear Jesse's thoughts on that. By the way, did y'all notice that they put Texas ahead of Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma at 12, Texas
Yeah,
at 11.
yeah. Fun little thing. So yeah, like
Brady,
I
are
feel
you
like
okay? Are you
I feel
okay?
I feel like this is a game that Vanderbilt would have won 9 times out of 10
Yeah.
if the play had just been a little bit better. If Pavia had done a little bit better. I mean, Pavia had a great day statistics wise. It's just
Yeah.
like you guys said, he just would hold the ball a handful of minutes too late, or a handful of seconds, I should say, and that would result in they only had 2 sacks, but those are 2 pretty pivotal sacks. So, unfortunately for Vanderbilt, their road to the playoff just got a little bit harder.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tough to recover after that one, I think. But we'll see. You never know. Notre Dame's 10, Oregon's number 9, so we're not into any more SEC schools yet. Let's move to Georgia, Florida. Georgia winning this one 24-20. I got the point here. Look, I knew this one was going to be a tough one because Georgia, Florida is always tough, no matter what. The first quarter, there was a gift touchdown with a total defensive breakdown in the secondary. There was an interception, which the receiver quite literally handed to the defender right off the fingertips, that should have been caught. Yet, despite an ugly first half, it felt like Florida had the upper hand for much of it. Score was 10-10 at half. And then both teams kind of came out guns blazing in the second half. Georgia scoring right off, and then Florida then scoring a touchdown aided by a PI call. Then there was the long touchdown run at the very end by Chauncey Bowens was the difference maker. But I also do have to credit the defense for being able to hold in a very shaky season defensively. They were able to hold, and then the offense got the first downs needed to run out the clock. By the way, some gamblers are very upset with Gunnar Stockton for not scoring that last potential touchdown that would have covered the spread. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Georgia was favored by 6.5 in this one, and so by kneeling it, then obviously smart to keep the ball and run the time off the clock. Although you still would have been ahead by a lot, so I don't think it would have mattered either way. But anyways, Matt, your thoughts on this one?
Georgia Florida is always a tough game, just like you said. I was a little surprised that this thing was as close as it was into the half. I figured Georgia would be up by 3, up by 7, maybe up by 10, and then when they were tied at the half, I was like, this could be interesting, to say the least. But I think that Georgia made those adjustments in the second half, and if you look at their third down percentage for Florida, 2 for 11 on third down, that's not going to get it done. And as a result, Florida finds them another way to tack something into the loss column in this game. So, womp
Right.
womp, what can you do? Georgia survives and continues to have a decent season.
Jesse?
Yeah, this one was, obviously I didn't expect it, because you can look at my predictions from last week and see that I did not anticipate this being a game, but I was certainly wrong. I think the late performance from Georgia is not something that we're necessarily surprised about. It's something that we've seen over and over again. They come in last minute touchdowns, things like that. But I think it's potentially raising some questions about them, about why this was such a close game against an unranked opponent, and why they can't seem to come into a game and put together 4 full quarters, which we've talked about. It's just a little bit of offensive inconsistency, I think. So that's something that I would anticipate the Bulldogs are going to try to reform before we get to these playoff rankings. And there's a little bit of a defensive concern as well, especially if we're looking at Florida and them allowing Florida to put up, 20 points on them. And then for Florida, good on you. They still kept an aggressive mindset in a rivalry game, even though they don't have their coach. The season's kind of falling apart, but they kept it together. And I respect that because it could be very easy to say, well, this is the time that we lose. We don't put forth a lot of effort because we have an excuse. I think they just have this inability to finish. And that's what we've seen so far this season in a lot of games. It's like they're right on the cusp. And I think if they get the right leadership in there, they might be able to turn the ship around. I surely hope so. But for Florida, obviously a tough loss because they really did come close.
Yeah. And the first the rankings have completed. And what I'm seeing right now is we had let's see, the top 10: Notre Dame, number 10; number 9, Oregon; number 8, Texas Tech; number 7, BYU; number 6, Ole Miss; and number 5, Georgia; number 4, Alabama; number 3, Texas A&M; number 2, Indiana; and then number 1, Ohio State. How we how we feeling about those? Are there any in there that you're just like, these people don't belong here?
Memphis. Memphis. Listen. I don't. I get this group of 5 stuff. I understand it. I get the logic, but like, come on, you're gonna take Memphis over Texas or Oklahoma? Like, for real? I just you give up. I don't
Yeah,
understand it. I
because
don't get it.
yeah, because they're not even ranked, but because they're the
No, that's
next,
exactly the point.
What's
yeah,
Oregon's ranking right now?
number
They're
9.
9,
Okay. And what's Illinois' ranking right now?
2. Oh
Uh,
wait, Illinois or Indiana?
Illinois.
Oh, I
Indiana.
don't know what Illinois is.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see
Illinois is not even in
Illinois.
there.
Okay. So no offense to the Hoosiers, both of the 2 ranked teams that they've played are, I mean, Illinois is not ranked anymore. And then Oregon was at 3 when they beat them. Okay. But now they're at
Hey,
9.
look, Indiana ain't played nobody. They played nobody.
I
They
mean, they're
played
undefeated.
nobody.
All right.
They played
they're
nobody.
undefeated.
They played
I,
nobody.
Yeah, so by default,
It's
Memphis makes it in at 12, not ranked, and then number 14, Virginia, would make it in the 11th slot. So, gosh, man, this is kind of wild. BYU is a team I didn't see that high.
mm-mm.
They're number 7 at 8-0. Um, yeah, I did not see them above Oregon.
let's
Um,
let's take let's take a look at old BYU, Brigham Young University. Who has BYU played this season? Let me pull this up for everybody just so we can go down. And listen, if you're a BYU fan and you're watching this, first off, you're in the wrong place. And second off, like, huh?
yeah.
Where is their schedule? I got to find their schedule. You talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna find that.
I,
Yeah, so I'm just trying to pull it back up because they just completed them, and obviously they're discussing it right now. Texas Tech at 8. I mean, again, I don't know if I would put either of those ahead of Oregon right now. Um, Notre Dame at 10. I don't know. Texas at 11 seems a little. I would have put. Look, I know Oklahoma lost to them, but just the full body of work. I just feel like overall Oklahoma's a better team.
Oh, well, listen, this is all going to work itself out. BYU has played Texas Tech this week. Everything's
Mm.
fine.
mhm.
So that one is
Um,
going to work itself out. Yeah.
but listen to who they played: Portland State,
Mm.
Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia, and then Arizona. No, sorry, they played Arizona and Utah, and they won both of those games. I don't know about you guys, but that is not an SEC schedule.
I mean, the Fighting Irish lost to Miami, lost to Texas A&M. They beat Purdue. They beat Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, Southern Cal, Boston College. Their remaining schedule is Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford.
Yikes.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
It'll
fine.
all work itself out. These are not the final ones.
Yeah, we
I
still got what,
understand.
3 more weeks of football until we get to the conference championship?
Yes. Yes. But
Yeah,
also the thing is too, is like, this is an interesting thing to look at because we're starting to see what the committee is looking at and valuing. And I think
right.
every year we get a little bit different and we try to figure out what exactly they were thinking. And we're never going to fully agree with the committee, obviously, but I am trying to suss out what the thought process is here. Clearly, they value the fact that Indiana is undefeated. I get that. Um, I am trying to figure out the rest.
And I do feel like Indiana's wins have been more impressive than they were last year. Last year,
Sure.
you were like, okay, they're up there, but they haven't played anybody. I mean, at least they've played a few more quality
They
teams this year,
played
it
two
seems.
people. They have played two ranked teams. Two. One, two. One of which isn't ranked anymore, and the other's Oregon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but we'll see. I agree, Jesse. It's like every year you try to get a gauge on what the committee's thinking, and this just sort of kind of helps that. So uh we'll see. We will see
Oklahoma
how that
fans, how
develops.
are you feeling
Oh, I bet
being
they're
below
livid.
Texas?
I bet they're livid.
Yeah.
Y'all good?
I can't say. Well, then again, they lost to Texas, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
should be
You talking about
Texas.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I get it. I'm thinking about the full body of work, but I don't know.
Right. Right.
We'll see how it goes. Let's move next to Mississippi State at Arkansas. Mississippi State winning this one 38-35. Jesse, the only one to pick Mississippi State,
I
so
believed.
props
I
there.
believed.
Yeah. Um, this was Mississippi State's first conference win in 17 tries.
God.
17 tries. They were down 35-21 with 13:43 left in this game. And then in the third quarter, Blake Shapen actually missed a little bit of this game after taking a big hit on a roughing the passer penalty. Kamario Taylor came in and led two scoring drives. Shapen then came back in and had an amazing fourth quarter to lead the Bulldogs to victory. And poor tackling by Arkansas yet again. And if you watched that fourth quarter, you saw quite a bit of that. We talk about the tackling epidemic and or lack thereof. Man, I don't know. Jesse, what were your thoughts on this? A valiant effort by Mississippi State to come back.
I mean, I like it. I think it just goes to show that it truly is next man up mentality because Taylor came in and he did play a significant role in that comeback, leading two scoring drives, including a touchdown pass to Evans and a touchdown run. So that's a big deal. Even if you're a backup, you might get your chance to shine and you might be a key factor in your team getting their first SEC win in a really long time. And dadgummit, they needed it. They had their receivers seem to be playing good football. Brennan Thompson, Anthony Evans, the third, made significant, contributions on the passing game. And Thompson had 6 catches for 107 yards. Evan catching 5 passes for 111. So not a bad day for those gentlemen. On the Arkansas side, again, we're seeing a lot of penalties. They had a school record, 18 penalties for 193 yards. So really, really tough. That was a tough one. You never want to be a school record in that.
No.
That's great. It makes you lose momentum. I'll tell you that. But Taylon Green finished 194 yards passing, 46 yards rushing, and Mike Washington Jr. had 116 rushing yards and a touchdown. So that's something to celebrate. But we talked about poor tackling. We've talked about some defensive struggles, and you got to clean it up. You got to clean it up. I know you don't have a for real coach, but like that dude's been there before. So that's something.
Yeah. Matt, what were your thoughts?
I think Jesse pretty much hit all the points. That 18 penalties is eye-watering. Like almost 200 yards of free yardage for Mississippi State. I feel like that plays a part. It's funny, though, because this past weekend, the high school team that I do radio for, in that game that they had with the other team, there were like 26 total penalties. It was constant. Like every other play, there was a flag. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was an awfully officiated game. And I feel like this kind of was it like that too. But hey, kudos to Mississippi State. 17 tries and you finally get one. That's And Mississippi State's been on the verge of a couple of wins all season. I mean, they almost beat Tennessee. There was a couple of weeks ago when I think it was Auburn, wasn't it, where that kind of faded out at the end. They needed to get over the hump. They're finally over the hump. So now it's just a question of seeing what you can build on for next season.
Yeah.
They've already played the Egg Bowl, right?
No, that's the rivalry weekend.
That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
They could play spoiler.
Yeah,
or do they play on Thanksgiving? I think
usually,
they play on Thanksgiving.
I think sometimes it's on Thanksgiving,
year,
sometimes it's on Friday, but I think, a lot of times on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I thought it hadn't been played yet, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. Let's go to South Carolina, Ole Miss. Ole Miss winning this one 30-14. I got the point here, and this one was actually a little bit closer than I thought it might be. It was 17-14 in the third quarter, but Ole Miss shut out South Carolina after that and pulled away for the victory. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we kind of expected it. But Matt, what were your thoughts?
I think you're right. There's no sense to gild the lily here. I mean, Ole Miss took care of business. 400 yards a total offense. They got South Carolina to turn the ball over 3 times. Played pretty clean. However, the one stat line, if you're a Mississippi Ole Miss fan, that you kind of have to worry about, 1 for 11 on third down. You could get it done everywhere else, but you couldn't convert it on third down. So that is a bit of an issue. But, I'm sure that Lane probably has been distracted with all the coaching carousel questions and everything flying around, so he's probably had other things on his mind. But Ole Miss gets a pretty good win here, I think. If you're a Beamer fan, you got to be asking questions. What do you got to do to get caught up with everybody else? And it's not happening.
Yeah, Jesse, your thoughts?
I mean, I think Matt pretty much hit the nail on the head here. Ole Miss should have gone in there and taken care of business. They should not do what Alabama did and drag their feet against South Carolina. This was a game that they needed to handle, and they did. Again, that third down conversion, it's elusive this season, apparently, for every single SEC team. And I'm not really sure why. But Lane Kiffin got it done, and I swear if I hear another coaching opportunity come up where they mention Nick Saban is coming back from retirement or they're going after Lane Kiffin, I'm going to hit my head against a wall. Those men are not leaving where they are. Miss Terry does not want
never say
Saban
never. Don't say never, because listen, if they back up the Brinks truck for old Nick, you telling me he won't strap the headset back on?
He literally doesn't need any more money. He's not going to be able to spend all of it before he dies.
So hold on now. This is the same cat that said he was not going to be the head coach at Alabama, and then a week later said he was announced as the head coach at Alabama.
Yeah, but he said that. Miss Terry has said no already publicly.
Just saying.
And Lane Kiffin ain't leaving Ole Miss anytime soon. No. So y'all can just delete his number, boo. He's not calling back.
Yeah, he's not.
He's taken.
Might as well give it up. Next is Oklahoma at Tennessee. Oklahoma winning this one 33-27. Nobody got the point here. Not gonna belabor this. Let's go ahead and get your thoughts, Matt. I know.
Let Matt talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in order for us to keep a semi family appropriate setting, I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to continue to go, but I'm going to mute my mic. Also, if my mom's watching, you might want to look away. So give me.
It's a lot of intensity there.
Yeah.
Now that I got all that out of my system, this is a game that I think that Tennessee finds a way to win if Oklahoma's kicker doesn't have the friggin' game of his life and hit like all of the long field goals. I think if the offensive line plays a little bit better on one play and doesn't give up a scoop and score, Tennessee wins this game. There's a universe somewhere where I think UT finds a way to win this thing. Just unfortunately for us, it wasn't this timeline. It was not this universe, and we ended up losing it. there's been so much talk on not only Vol Twitter, but also just Twitter in general and Facebook and Reddit and all the other places about people wanting to fire Heupel and fire Tim Banks and fire the coaching staff and hire new people. And I'm just like, guys, we played this game 20 years ago when we fired Phil. Like, why are we even broaching this subject? They had friggin' Kirk Herbstreit on a channel, and they were like, hey, Kirk, do you agree with this idea that they should fire Heupel? He's like, no. You'd be outside your brain pan to do that. And I completely agree. Look, we're all disappointed in this loss. Oklahoma has had our number the last couple times we played them, like in big settings. When we had the original Oklahoma Baker Mayfield, that whole game back in 2017, I think it was, opportunity to kind of put things out. We lost that one too. We lost this one. We just weren't good. Oklahoma's a better team on Saturday. What can you do? You just have to keep going. And all these people saying, all right, guys, wrap it up. Season's over. It's not. You still have to play Florida. You still have to play Vanderbilt. We can still find a decent bowl game even if we don't get in the playoff. This national championship or bust mentality is poisonous to college football. And it's a bad angle. It's a really bad angle. I don't agree with it. And I think that it's one of those situations where everybody needs to take a real big step back and just take a breath because it's not that serious. Again, Jonathan Crompton, a former quarterback for the University of Tennessee, that said that Josh Heupel is Tennessee's James Franklin. And I was like,
Oh,
what? What are you talking about? Like, yes, and I also saw somebody else say that Heupel is Tennessee's Mark Richt. And I'm like, no, that's not even remotely close to accurate. Like, they're completely separate issues. It makes no sense why there's so many in the fan base that are so hell-bent on the idea of we deserve a better coach that's going to get a natty in year 2. That's not how the real world works.
No, yeah.
It's not.
there's also no one to hire right now. So
Exactly. Like, I just don't understand this mentality. We've been hearing grumblings about it, since last season. Like, we spent 15 years wandering in the wilderness, fielding 6 and 7 win teams, 5 win teams, and we did nothing. Hell, go back at the beginning of the season, and I'll stop. I'll digress in just a second. Go back to the beginning of the season when everybody was making their picks. Most people said Tennessee wouldn't win more than 8 games.
Right.
They made, like Josh Pate on his show said, you know what? At the beginning of the year, we said Tennessee's probably going to be 8-4, 7-5. So far, they're right. You potentially could be. I think we'll beat Florida. I think you're probably looking at a loss to Vanderbilt. God help us if that happens. But again, like, everybody just needs to chill out. It ain't that serious. I say that as somebody that just spent the last, 2 minutes getting my blood pressure up about Tennessee football. But I digress.
Yeah. Jesse, you have any thoughts?
I got nothing. I think Matt covered it.
Yeah.
Listen, one more thing, and then I'll shut up. If you're one of these Negavol fans, I need you come close. Come here. Huddle up. Let's talk. We're gonna have a chat. I need you to shut the hell up and get on board. Drink the big orange Kool-Aid. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Also, while y'all were talking about the coaching situation, I was remembering just. Did you ever have the friend group back in the day where you had this large group of friends and everyone just ended up dating each other? And it was
yes,
just like,
Wes, we were in that friend group.
Well, I'm trying to be, anyways, my point in even likening it to this is that a lot of these coaches are the same people. This is the same pool of people to choose from. Like, it's not changing.
It's
but
small
yet
town dating.
Yeah, exactly. We expect the results to be different, but yet we are trying it with the same people over and over again. And I'm like, why? Why are we trying this and expecting different results? And we'll see. I mean, the market ain't great right now for coaches, but yet people are firing them left and right, just like there's this plethora of people available.
I want it stated unequivocally for the record. This is all Nick Saban - Kirby Smart's fault.
Yeah, I would say more Saban with a dash of Kirby.
Kirby's just picked up the mantle. He's right there with him.
Kirby is a disciple of Nick Saban.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. The next game is Kentucky at Auburn. Kentucky winning this one 10-3. That's right, 10-3. Matt is the only one to pick Kentucky here.
It's like 1992 SEC. What the hell?
Right.
Not even 1992, like 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kentucky hasn't won a road game in 2 seasons, so that's something to consider.
Kentucky hasn't won an SEC game until right now.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to matter which quarterback Auburn put in. Obviously, we talked about Ashton Daniels starting instead of Jackson Arnold, but it didn't matter. They tried both in this game, same results. So I don't know if that would be, coaching. Well, I don't know. Even the interception that Auburn got in the fourth quarter, did you guys see this? Even the interception that they got in the fourth quarter was ruined because during the return, they fumbled it back to them. So it's just
I did not see that.
it was like, oh my gosh. It was an embarrassing loss at home for Auburn. And we talk about Jordan Hare as being
Something is
this.
happening at Jordan Hare, and I'm like, knock on wood, I'm anxious to even say that because we have to play at Jordan Hare in a few weeks. But like the things that usually happen at Jordan Hare are not happening. It's like it rejected Hugh Freeze.
They're saving it all up for that game against Bama.
God, I hope not. But I'm telling, well, now maybe they are, because if they truly rejected Hugh Freeze, then the unholy ground that is Jordan Hare has accomplished their diabolical plan of getting rid of him. Sorry, spoiler alert. And maybe they're going to take it out on us, but Lord have mercy, I hope not.
Yeah. Did you have thoughts on this game?
I mean, this one was just, it's weird. It's just kind of weird.
Jesse's not wrong.
Yeah, it was a dominant defensive day for Kentucky. Their pass rush was a huge factor in this, and it really took Auburn's offense off guard. I think, like I said, they got their first SEC win this season, which is a boost for them. Obviously not going to get them into the playoff, but it's a boost. And despite the fact that they had offensive struggles, as we can see from the score, they still got it done. And then Auburn, their offensive struggles continued. Their quarterback issues persisted, and their defense, which was good, just wasn't enough. And I know we're going to talk about it, but turns out the boosters didn't feel like Hugh Freeze was enough.
Matt, do you have any thoughts before we go into the it's become tradition now.
Yeah. What is this? Is this the fourth?
Well, this is the third time we've done it, but it's like the fourth or fifth time this has happened this season. Yeah.
I would love to see. We've been doing shows for 8 seasons. Is that right?
This is the 9th season.
Ninth season. I would love to see what the number of coaches have been fired since we started, because it has to be an astronomical number. It has to be easily 15.
Oh, I know that we discussed coaches that we've probably forgot about. It's been,
yeah. I'm sure there has. Speaking, so anyway, kudos to Kentucky for getting that done. Yeah. Enjoy that. Auburn, you've moved on. Hugh Freeze, if you're watching, listen, I have some advice for you. You're about to have a lot of free time. Ton of free time. You don't have to worry about a paycheck. You're going to have some free time. Might I suggest investing in some video games? I would highly recommend Mass Effect. This is a good one. I would also probably recommend, if the camera will cooperate, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. This is a pretty good one. You could sink easy 120 hours into this one. Or, my personal favorite, one of the FIFA games. I don't know if you ever played soccer, like actual real football. It's actually a ton of fun. You should give it a try.
Or donate your time. Be a volunteer. There are so many animal shelters. Food,
or be a greeter at Walmart. That's apparently a sweet gig, or so I've heard.
I think that there's a lot of good that you can do. You have a lot of time. Honestly, you don't need all that money. Just like donate a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Invest. I don't know. Garden, bird watching.
Well, let's talk about.
What do you think? Well, hold on. What do you think Hugh Freeze's hobby is besides football?
I'm afraid to know.
He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's barbecuing a pork
Didn't we do one of those? What
Sam
kind
Pittman.
of product would he sell if he was doing NIL himself?
We
Probably.
discussed that at one point. I think we said that Hugh Freeze was like a used car salesman or
Or
something,
like
didn't we?
cell
We
phones, like a
did.
flip phone.
Hugh Freeze. He would do an NIL deal for his lawyer buddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what maybe he like, I don't know what his hobby would honestly be. I think he would just ride the riding lawnmower drinking beer, but not actually cut the grass.
Just riding the lawnmower.
Just ride the
Yeah.
lawnmower.
We should probably sing him off at this point. So happy trails to you until we meet again.
Is he gonna end up at like Florida or something? Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's gonna be some silliness. He'll take a year or two off, then end up like at like I don't know, New Hampshire State or something. Wes, go ahead.
It's time for our now tradition impromptu news segment.
Here's the news.
All right. So obviously Auburn has fired head coach Hugh Freeze.
What?
Freeze went 15 and 19 in nearly 3 seasons with Auburn.
Not patient Auburn.
1-5 in conference play this season. Now look, here's some fun numbers
Ooh.
for you. So
Ooh.
Auburn has paid its last 3 coaches $52 million in buyouts. I'm not sure the time frame on this, if they're still paying these people or if they've already finished paying them. Anyways, Gus Malzahn.
Forgot about Brian Harsin.
Gus
How can you
Malzahn
forget
was
about Brian Harsin?
21 million. Brian Harsin was 15 million, and now Hugh Freeze 16 million. Now, keep in mind that's a lot of money, but keep in mind this is still less than what LSU owes Brian Kelly in 54 million, unless they figured out a
decrease
way.
his buyout?
Huh?
I think they're trying to
I did
decrease his
see.
buyout.
I
Yeah.
did see they were trying to decrease it, but I couldn't find anything official where they had.
I don't know if they
were
have
trying
yet, but
to.
they were saying that there was some morality clause violation.
Yeah.
What those are, I could not say.
I'll tell you what that morality clause was. It was him putting on that fake Cajun accent for a day.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
That was a crime. That was a crime against humanity.
We
in my
can't
book.
decrease his buyout without cause. Well, I have cause. It's because I hate him.
Oh.
I watched that episode literally yesterday. But imagine if Auburn would have taken that 52 million in buyouts and like put it into scholarships or education grants, you know?
Yeah. Or like put it into facilities to attract recruits, or some,
Sure.
or
Sure.
whatever.
That's fun. I don't know. I genuinely don't know who is going to replace.
Well, have you guys seen the list of replacement candidates? Because if you
Huh.
have,
It's-
you
I
already
think-
have.
I think I
because
already know
it's the
who's at the
same
top of
list.
that.
It's just copy paste.
It's
And
just copy
Lane
and paste.
Kiffin is not going to Auburn.
Ah,
He's not going.
He's not going to go to Auburn.
no, I don't know.
That's silly.
No, not Auburn. You're
That's
If he
right.
went anywhere, it would
Ooh,
be Florida, but
let's-
he's not going to do that either.
But let's play this game. Which is more attractive of a position, Florida or Auburn?
Or LSU.
Or LSU. If you had to pick between those three, I almost feel like you'd be better off going LSU than
Pick
Auburn.
LSU
Florida.
over any of them because then he can play. He can play Bama every year. He's got, I don't know, and I feel like he would like the intensity of the crowd. Not that the other ones don't have intense crowds. Although Florida could be a little bit more appealing because they seem to have a little bit more patience with their coaches. You win one big game, you get to keep your job, even if you lose all the rest.
Yeah.
It is interesting how, and not that this wasn't the case before, but I think even more so now, the boosters have power because it's not just donating money to the school now, it's donating money to NIL and being able to get in these players. And so now boosters are saying, well, look, if you don't make this change at coach, then we're just going to withhold funds from the NIL and you're not going to be able to get anybody. And then what? So it's weird because you're like hurting yourself at that point too. But I guess
the whole thing's a mess. The whole thing's a mess.
I think honestly what they need to do is they just, every school, all of you, everyone that has an opening, which is a lot of you, and some of you are about to have openings as well, find somebody unknown. I mean, find an OC or a DC or a quarterbacks coach, find that person and go from there. Because number one, it's less hype and less pressure for them to perform, which might allow them to do their job. And I don't know who you're going to get. And I don't know why everyone keeps expecting the same people to do the same job better than they have before.
Right. It is a strange mentality for sure. I don't know. We'll see. But this is just one of the laundry list of open positions now. Let's talk about pick'em standings. I've got 31. Jesse's got 28. Matt's got 26. We're still kind of motoring along at about the same what we were last time. Um, let's go. Oh, helmet stickers. Let's talk about helmet sticker recipients. Jesse, who are yours?
I'm going to give mine to number one to the Auburn boosters because I feel like all of the Auburn fans are actually happier right now than they were before. I think they've been hoping for this, praying for this, and sacrificing sweaters and visors for this. So for you guys, I'm gonna give a helmet sticker to your boosters because I think that made you happy. And then I'm gonna give my other one to Mississippi State because they won an SEC game. Finally.
That they did. Matt?
Listen, I hate to acknowledge the opposition, but I mean I think I have to lean over and give a little attaboy to Diego Pavia for starters. 27 for 38 for 365 yards and 3 TDs. Dude was on fire, but unfortunately came up a little bit short against Texas. And then the other helmet sticker, and it kind of pains me to have to do this, is for Tate Sandell, kicker from Oklahoma. 4 for 4 on field goal attempts, 1 from 55, another from 55, 1 from 51, and 1 from 40. If you miss 3 of those, that game may not look like it does. So, kudos to him. He was able to get it done. He was playing out of his mind that night.
Yeah, for sure. I got Anthony Evans, the third wide receiver for Mississippi State. He had 5 receptions, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the final go-ahead touchdown. And then Arch Manning, in his performance, 25 out of 33, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, and just as importantly, no turnovers. So kudos there. So obviously he's been through a lot this year and has been judged, and so when he does something good, we should also call that out too. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to next week's matchups.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, so these teams have official rankings next to them now, but I didn't have time to write those down earlier today because they just came out. But first game is Georgia, 7-1, 5-1 in the SEC at Mississippi State, 5-4, 1-4 in the SEC. That's noon on ESPN. Matt, what's your prediction for this one?
Isn't that an 11 a.m. kickoff in Starkville?
Yep.
That's rough. Yeah, go ahead and give me Georgia in this one. I think Mississippi State's probably going to be feeling pretty good after last week, but Georgia's about to give them a big old pill of reality. So I like Georgia here, 38-20.
Yeah, on the road in the SEC is always difficult. And on top of that, Jeff Lebby has called for 60,000 cowbells Saturday against Georgia, so that ought to be
You can
fun.
go ahead and call them.
I think
Cows are probably going to stay in the field, to be honest.
I think Georgia might be able to score some points in this one, but I just worry about Georgia having the same tackling issues we saw with Arkansas last week against Mississippi State, as well as the general issues we've seen Georgia having in terms of pressuring the quarterback and covering wide receivers. I expect Mississippi State to get a lot of yards, especially through the air. I think this one might have shades of a lot of Georgia's games this year, close or maybe even down at half. So then kind of starting to lock things down on defense and starting to wear down the other team a little bit on offense. But I am going to go with Georgia here, 31-24. And I'll put that one in the notes here. Go ahead and lock it in. And then next is the Citadel.
I'm gonna make my prediction as well.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I've got like 8 things going on right now.
No,
My brain
you're
is
all
like
good.
Swiss
You're
cheese.
all good.
What is your prediction?
My prediction is very much the same as both of yours. I also pick UGA, the Georgia Bulldogs in this one. I think Mississippi State is excited for having finally gotten over the mountain of getting an SEC win, but I just don't think that they're up to snuff when it comes to playing Georgia. So I'm going to pick Georgia 30-17.
Nice. All right, next is the Citadel 4-5 at Ole Miss 8-1, 1 p.m. on SEC Network. Matt, what's your prediction?
This is a snoozer. Ole Miss gets ahead early and stays ahead. 42-10 Ole Miss.
Yeah, did you know, fun fact, the Citadel Bulldogs lost at home to our very own Mercer Bears, 38-0 earlier this season?
Mercer's been murdering people. I was looking at their schedule, their results the other day, and they've been hanging like 50 and 60 on everybody.
Gotcha. Well, I don't think it's going to be any better for the Citadel. And I'm going to go Ole Miss here, 56-0. Jesse, what you got?
Yeah, I don't think this is a very exciting game. I'm actually about to change my prediction, to be honest with you. I'm picking Ole Miss in this one, but I think I'm going to go 45-13.
All right, next is Texas A&M 8-0, 5-0 in the SEC at Missouri, 6-2, 2-2 in the SEC. That's 3:30 on ABC. Matt, what is your prediction here? Uh-oh.
Upset alert! Put it on the board. Missouri wins this thing 30-27. I got a bad feeling for Texas A&M. I just got something in my gut says Mizzou's going to find a way to win this ball
Really?
game.
Even with no coach?
Nah, I think definitely fine.
Interesting.
Sorry, I was looking at LSU. I don't know why I said that. They do have a
Well,
coach.
so they are without
Let's say
somebody.
Drinky hadn't got fired.
They are without somebody. Bo Pribula is out with a dislocated ankle. So true freshman Matt Zollers will get the start.
Right.
I was unaware of that.
He
Oh well,
I mean,
it's locked in now. I can't say anything.
So fast, my friend.
you can change it. To be fair,
No,
Zollers did pretty good when he came in against Vanderbilt. So you never know. But that's a pretty tall order against a team like A&M with the season they've had this year. So I think they might rely a lot, Mizzou that is, might rely a lot on Ahmad Hardy in the running game. Obviously, he's been pretty consistent and very good this year. Rely on him to get things moving. But I expect A&M to play their game maybe a little bit more conservative because they can, but ultimately they'll get the job done. I'm going A&M here 27-21. Matt, this is your last chance. You want to change it?
No, it's fine. I'll stick with. I mean, this. I'm in last place. I got to make some gambles somewhere to catch up.
I hear you. Jesse, what you got?
Yeah, I think this one might be close in the first half. Maybe honestly, yeah, first half. I'm going to give them it. It might be pretty close. Mizzou's at home, so that might give them a little bit of an advantage. Texas A&M might have a slight slow start, but I think they take care of it before the clock hits 0. So I'm going to pick Texas A&M in this one, 31-21.
Okay. Next is Auburn, 4-5, 1-5 in the SEC at Vanderbilt. 7-2, 3-2 in the SEC. That's 4 p.m. on SEC Network. Matt, what is your prediction here?
Yeah, I like Vandy here. Give me Vandy 26-10. Couple field goals.
Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. So DJ Durkin, yes, that DJ Durkin is the interim head coach for Auburn at the moment. I don't really see the offense being energized, led by a defensive coach, but who knows? Maybe that'll free up the offense. You know, they can call what they want, do what they want. I don't know. But Auburn's still got a good defense, and I think that'll keep the scores down. I realized that when I was watching the games this weekend, I realized that mainly we just talk about Diego Pavia when it comes to Vandy. But then last week when I was watching the games, I realized that there's a reason for that. It's because he really kind of tries to do most of it himself, which is both a blessing and a curse. Obviously, when he's on, it's great, and when he's not, it's not good, and all that good stuff. But I do think Vandy is able to get it done at home here. I'm going Vandy 24-17. Jesse?
I think Vandy is big mad about their loss and how close they came to winning this past weekend. I think Auburn obviously has a lot of struggles right now. Just lost their coach. There's a lot going on. I think their defense might give them a helping hand to stay in this game more than they normally would, but I'm picking the Commodores in this one, 28-10.
All right. Next is LSU, 5-3, 2-3 in the SEC at Alabama, 7-1, 5-0 in the SEC. That's 7:30 on ABC. Matt, what you got for this one?
Night game, Bryant Denny. I don't like LSU's chances here, especially without a head coach. I don't know who's the interim right now. Do we know?
Interim is Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson. Okay,
Obviously.
so even that Frank Wilson. Yeah, I don't think LSU's really got a chance here. I think they get a late touchdown to make it look closer than it was. I think Bama rolls here, 28-14 Bama.
All right, yeah. So LSU's got a lot going on right now. Frank Wilson's interim head coach as they search. I mean, let's not forget that LSU is also searching for an athletic director as well
Oh,
after
that's right.
separating from Scott Woodward. So lots of changes going on in Baton Rouge right now. Although I do think I heard that the interim AD, whose name escapes me, they have given authority to hire the next coach. So we'll see. I mean, I guess it just depends on how the search goes. But
I hope he's looking far and wide because I maybe go get somebody that like the reverse Ted Lasso,
yeah.
like look for a football coach in the UK, because at this point you have a better shot at that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's always the possibility of an interim head coach infusing a new and better energy into a football team, and I mean this might happen, but being on the road at Bryant-Denny will be tough for them. I think LSU's defense hasn't been up to par this year, and we've seen that Ty Simpson what he can do when he's given time to find these talented receivers. So I got to go with Bama here. I'm going Bama 31-21. Jesse?
I think it's no surprise. I'm going with the Tide on this one. Night game, Bryant-Denny Stadium, and we just coming off a bye week, so don't be sleepy, gentlemen. Let's go in there. Let's get it done. I'm going to pick Bama 31-13.
Hey guys, we were just talking about LSU looking for an athletic director, weren't we?
Yep.
Well, we've got some breaking news. Sorry. Excuse me. Just came over the wire on ESPN about 9 minutes ago. LSU's promoting Verge Osbury to athletic director and taking off his interim tag. Sources are telling ESPN's Pete Thamel. So
okay.
Now they're not looking for an AD.
He's been promoted.
Verge?
He's just been promoted. Huh?
What's his name?
Verge Osbury.
Verge.
Yeah, Verge Osbury. He is a former LSU linebacker. He's been connected to the university more than 30 years.
Great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very cool. All right. Next is Florida, 3-5, 2-3 in the SEC at Kentucky, 3-5, 1-5 in the SEC. That's 7:30 on SEC Network. Matt, you're shaking your head. What's going on? What you
weren't we just talking about Kentucky not getting road wins just a little while ago?
Yeah, they're at home now.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. At Kentucky. My fault. I can't read. Reading's hard. Again, night game at Kroger Field. Those tend to be a little weird. I think that gives Kentucky a chance to keep it close, but I like Florida here, 28-24.
Yeah, I'm not incredibly confident in either of these teams' abilities on offense or defense. So it's really kind of hard to say who's going to come out on top with all that weirdness going on and uncertainty. I suppose on paper, Florida is a more talented team. I don't know. I'm going to make a very uncertain pick here, and I'm going to go with Florida, 21-17. Jesse, what do you got?
I think even though Kentucky was able to win out, finally get an SEC win against Auburn, I do believe that Florida's a little harder to beat than Auburn, especially given their performance against UGA. I don't know, somehow you carry the two and this and equals things. I'm going to go with the Gators on this one. They are relatively evenly matched teams, but I just feel like Florida's going to be able to get it done at the end of the day. So I'm going Gators 24-17.
All right. Well, that does it for this upcoming week's games, and that does it for this episode. Appreciate everybody joining us for our reaction to the first CFP rankings in 2025. They were certainly interesting. We'll see how those shake out as the season goes along. If you would like to contact us, please email us at pigskinsandpageantry@gmail.com. We are at Pigskins and Pageantry on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We are at PPSEC Podcast on Twitter. And don't forget, we're available for download on most of the platforms out there, almost all of them. So if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and review. 5 stars. We'd love that chance to get more visibility and be able to talk to more wonderful people like yourselves. So until next time, this is Wes. Go Dogs.
Everybody just remember the grass is not always greener. Sometimes there is no grass on the other side of the fence, or there's like 13 other people on that side of the fence looking for the same grass. So just keep that in mind. But roll Tide.
Good luck to everyone looking for a new head coach. I'm quite content with ours. Go Vols.